Talk, where we empower, validate, and encourage each other to do life. I'm Yolanda.
I'm Sheila.
I'm Angela.
And we are here today for another conversation. Today we're going to be talking about standing in gratitude, how to stay grateful. Whew, seems simple, but it's a lot. Be surprised how many people are just not grateful. For a few different reasons. Arrogance, right? Pride.
That's what came to mind, pride.
Don't feel worthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't feel worthy of all that God has blessed me with, right?
Resentful.
Oh, resentful. That's a good one.
Resentful.
Resentful of the blessing. Oh, it could be the flip side of that. How about we got people in our lives that make us feel bad about how God blessing us?
Amen to that.
Right? Like, they don't know what it took, right? They don't know that I had to be broke down to get to this point, right? They didn't see me when I was riding around in my Hyundai that didn't have no air conditioning, right? We was riding to work. Remember? Sweating. You remember that? Sweating.
Yeah.
In the Hyundai, flying down the interstate.
What about on the bus?
Right. See, they don't know the backstory.
Absolutely.
They just see the now.
Yes.
The now, right?
Yeah.
And I'm grateful because I needed that backstory.
Yeah.
That backstory. Riding around in the Hyundai with no air makes me appreciate the fact that I can turn that air conditioner on when it's 99 degrees, right?
Absolutely.
I don't take it for granted.
Yeah, ma'am.
I don't take it for granted. Whew, that was a
Remember
flashback
that
from
Camry I had?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I had that Camry.
I cannot believe that you remembered that. I had forgotten about that.
Grateful. Think about the
Yes.
jobs. Okay, right?
Yes.
You hated Serenity Lodge. Not you didn't hate what you were doing, but you didn't like the company. You used to dread going to Serenity Lodge, right?
Right. But it's like you said, if it wasn't, that's where I met Angie.
Yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
I got Brejon from.
Yeah.
Then that's how I got connected to you.
Yeah.
So a lot of times what we look at is, I'm so glad when I leave this place. God is setting us up for so much more down the road.
Yeah.
Clueless.
Completely.
Clueless.
How about that telemarketer job we worked at
Yes.
HB? We hated that job.
Yes.
It was, what was we doing, credit cards or something? Had
Books.
to get a sale or something. We had to get a
Books.
sale every
Books.
hour. We couldn't wait to go to lunch. But look now,
Yeah.
it taught us something.
Yeah.
We didn't know we were learning. Like you said, we did not know the backstory was propelling us
Absolutely.
to a place of being grateful.
Yes.
Being grateful, right? Grateful for what we have. And also, how about being grateful for what you don't have?
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's some things that we want, it's just not good for us.
So true. So true. We think we know. But the Bible always says, who knows the mind
Yeah.
of God? We don't know his mind. He has so much for us further down
Yeah.
if we can just endure where we are because we're graced for it. We are
Amen.
graced for it. He gives us the grace to go through it. He gives us the grace to endure it.
Come on,
Yes.
He had to endure the cross. That wasn't
Yes.
easy.
No.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know, if he can do that, surely I can go through a season of not having the finances I feel like I should have.
Correct.
You know, so nothing is off limits if he endured that for me.
So how do we balance gratefulness and humility, right? Because you got some people who say they're grateful, but they are very arrogant. And then also, we want to make sure that we're gracious about everything that God gives us. And not only are we gracious about it, but we're not boastful about it to make others feel bad as if they should be where we are. And oftentimes that's what we encounter. We encounter
Yes.
where you feel like I should have been here 5 years ago, or I should have been here 3 years ago, when really standing in gratitude is just that, right? I'm
What
just
does-
grateful for
what
now.
Doesn't Scripture say, be still and know that I am God?
Be still.
Sometimes being still might mean be still for 5 years, 10 years. You're like, okay, Lord, I'm being still.
If you that still,
Right.
you in a wilderness, and you need to figure that out.
Right. But in the
I don't want to be still.
But-
Don't
but-
let me be
but
still
what
for
I'm
that
trying-
long.
What I'm trying to say is that we get ahead of God
Oh yeah,
because we are comparing
Yeah.
what others have. And okay, like I'm guilty of saying I'm 60, 70 years old. I should have this, and this, and I should be here, here, and here. But if the Lord told me, be still in this season and know that I am God, I would have never, like I said earlier, I would have never thought that I would be here.
Right.
I didn't see this,
Yeah.
what we say 60 days ago?
Yeah.
I didn't even see this 60 days ago.
Yeah.
You know, my limited thinking was, I need to get a job.
Yeah.
And what did you tell me? Why? So you have to give notice? And I'm like, what's she talking about? You know,
Yeah.
but sometimes gratitude means being grateful where God has us, regardless to where he has anybody else. What does Paul say? I am content in what I have and what I don't have.
Yeah. So that's good. Content in what I have, right? Because standing in gratitude is not standing still and complaining.
No.
Yeah, I mean, and finding yourself content, you're like taking a moment, taking the time to really appreciate where you are, how far you've come, celebrate the little victories. You know, we shouldn't despise small beginnings, you know, so take in those wins and be content right where you are, not trying to go ahead, like you said a moment ago, go ahead of the process. And comparison is a complete dream killer.
Yeah.
Don't
Oh,
even
is it
compare
not?
yourself to anyone else. Stay in your lane, the lane that has been designated just for you, and be content in that. And it's okay to be who you are and stay right there. Just stay there.
Yeah.
Be content.
Yeah.
You're going to get there.
Right.
You're going to get there.
I think the other piece of standing in gratitude is while you're standing still, what is the purpose?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we're not standing still. There's no movement for no particular reason. It's why. We got to get to the why. Why am I standing still? What am I supposed to be doing? What is my purpose? What am I supposed to be learning?
Yeah.
Right? And those are all
Yeah.
great questions that we want to ask each other, but we don't never ask the Father.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes because we already know and we don't, sometimes we can't handle the truth.
Right.
We can't handle
Yeah.
the truth.
Yeah. The truth oftentimes as well makes us look at ourselves and take inventory, and we don't like to do that. Our flesh doesn't like to hear the truth, the bottom line truth, and I know that because I, by nature, am just a truth teller, and I have to tell you what the truth is, so you don't remain in a place that you're not supposed to be in.
Yeah.
So truth is definitely needed, and if you have someone in your life that's giving it to you, appreciate them, because that's going to propel you to your next and where it is that you are going, where you're on your way to.
That's really good.
What about accountability, place?
Yeah.
You know, when you're in that stillness. And when the Lord said be still, he's not talking about
Don't do
no
nothing.
movement.
Right. He's like,
just
don't do
saying,
nothing.
You know,
Don't get
be
ahead of me.
still, just don't get ahead of me.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, but also accountability.
Yeah.
Like, okay, wait a minute.
But see, those are curse words, right? You know,
buy that car.
accountability that's
Right.
you know, those are curse words. We don't like accountability
And we don't like when others
Yeah.
call us
on
out
our stuff.
on our, but if I respect what you're saying to me, if you're saying to me in the most compassionate way, girl, what are you grateful for?
Yeah.
All I hear you complain about is your car is 10 years old, or your house is this, or your, you know, this,
Right.
this, and this. But what are you grateful for?
Right.
Yeah.
How about that you have a house?
You have
How
a-
about that you have a car? How about that you even have a job, right? I think that goes back to when we were talking about like how we even, you know, came to know each other.
Exactly.
It was small beginnings back
Yeah.
then, right?
Mhm.
We
It
was
was.
literally figuring out
Yes.
what we gonna have for lunch. What you got? What you got? Okay, I got this. It was literally what we about to feed the kids for
Yeah,
dinner, right?
exactly.
It was
It
like where
was.
we about to be. So it really made us grateful that during that time we had each other to pull our stuff
Absolutely.
together to make it work,
Yeah.
right? We didn't have
Yeah.
no daycare.
Yeah.
Well, no, because we didn't have no money for no daycare.
We didn't.
So it was, what's your work schedule? I'm working this day, and what you doing? We had to figure it all out.
Yes.
But you're right, that propelled us for the
Yes.
now. Truly grateful for
Yes.
everything.
Yes. I was going to say, as young mothers,
Yeah.
Londa, we had Sheila and we
We
had
did.
Stephanie they really poured into us about being women.
Yeah.
We didn't know. We
didn't
knew
know.
God, but we weren't serving him.
We
And
weren't.
we weren't serving him. But he was even gracious enough during that season to place them in our lives as seasoned women, to give us what we needed to grow as
Yes.
mothers, and giving us permission to make the mistakes, you
Yes.
know, and not being looked upon or talked about,
Right.
but to give us those wisdoms that we needed to
Yes.
get to where we are today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. You and Stephanie created a safe place for
Yeah.
us that we could experience motherhood without even knowing what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all were there to catch us. So for that, thank you.
Yeah.
You are so welcome. But the gratitude is all mine because you all, it does a person's heart good when someone trusts you with their most valuable
Yeah.
gift, and that's their children.
Yeah.
And I had Brejon from day whenever, 2 weeks.
Yeah,
a
2
week
weeks.
old,
It's
you
2 weeks
know,
old.
TJ, 3 or 4, Stone Cold, newborn.
Yeah.
You know, so the gratitude was like, wow, you know, they know I'm a spanker.
You ain't
They know
spanking
I'm
nobody. You a talker.
Didn't
You
spank nobody. Just
She's
told
a
them I'm
threatener.
spanker. Didn't spank nobody. But it was just the gratitude,
Yeah.
you know, that the trust was there. But also, because I had experienced, you know, raising my brothers and sisters, and then now, you know, my 2, you know, it was just a joy to have little ones sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
especially the ones you can get back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you
Yeah.
spoil them,
Yeah.
come with
Send
your
'em
mom. When you come together,
Yeah.
okay.
I think
Yeah.
so. I think that made us very grateful for authentic friendships,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's another one.
Authentic friendships. People
Yeah.
don't get authentic friendships that often. They get people passing in, passing out. People that's sucking life out of you. People
Yeah.
that you're pouring into. But to say authentic friendships, I can stand here and say, I know I can call. I don't care if I haven't talked to y'all in 15 years.
That's right.
I can pick my phone up and I can call you all, and it'll bounce right back like no time has
That's right.
missed. And that is precious. I thank God for that
Yes,
because
yes.
people don't get that in a
No.
lifetime,
No.
You're right.
right?
They don't.
They don't get it in a
They don't.
lifetime.
They don't get it in a lifetime, and when you do find it, treasure it.
Yes.
It is such a treasure to have. Good, solid friends. I mean, look at the young lady that just lost her life not that long ago at 25 years old, traveling with those that she thought were her friends. But to
Yes.
know deep down, that this person has your best interest at heart, there's not a question mark ever about these two that I've ever had. We've always had each other's back, and we will continue.
Yes.
But just to know that is such a gem.
Yes.
Such a gem.
So
Because it reminds me of when changes happen in your life, good or bad, and being transparent. When Mr. and I got divorced, people just scattered. You know, and I'm like, wait a minute, where is everybody?
Yeah.
You know, couldn't call on nobody. You know, I'm dealing with this.
Right.
You know, who do I call? How do I, you know, all your married friends have disappeared.
because you're not married.
Because I'm not married anymore.
Right.
Because I'm separated or divorced. And,
Right.
you know, or there's nothing different about me. I'm still the same. You know, and so a lot of times when change is good, bad, or indifferent is when you really find out who your true friends are, and be grateful that they're in your life. You know, you don't need 50,000 followers to say these people don't know you from Adam.
Yeah.
You know, you need, what does the Bible say? A 3-strand cord is not easily broken.
Yeah.
You just need yourself 2 or 3 good friends.
If you can find
If you can
that,
find that. Yeah.
get what you can. Vet the rest.
Right.
Get what you can, vet the rest.
Right.
I think, you know what, as I think about being grateful, and I would have to say that it's a process. being grateful is a process, because oftentimes when we think we're grateful, we're really arrogant. When we think we are grateful, we are really self-serving or boastful, right? I'm grateful for everything I got, but then I'm flashy about it. Yeah. And we don't understand how that could make someone else feel bad, because they're not in the same position or don't have the same. And oftentimes we now, when you truly find gratefulness, you look at what you have and you're like, it's this much, right?
Yeah.
But everybody else sees it's this much, right? So how do you stay humble in the midst of God's blessings?
You stay in the Word. You stay in the Word. You stay prayerful. You stay accountable to yourself. You know, you take the 2, 3 that you can trust, that you know are there for you, good, bad, or indifferent, and you do the best you can with what God has given you. You know, the gifts that God has given you, the people God has given you. You know, you just stay humble to that, because at the end of the day, when we all leave this earth, we can't take nothing with us.
Correct.
Nothing.
That's right. I think for me, it's finding a purpose. You talked about that earlier. Finding a purpose, and finding something that keeps you in that place. And for me, it's serving. Yes. So, you know, just making sure that I'm serving my community in a way that they need to be served, finding the problem. And when I see the problem, don't just turn my head and act like it's not there. Right. It's a problem, and it's my problem because it's affecting my people.
Right.
So, and when I say my people, I mean all mankind.
Yeah.
And making a difference in that.
Right.
Going out and finding a way to impact your community, be it volunteer-wise, or making monetary donations, however you feel that it's impactful to keep you in a place where, there for the grace of God, there go I.
Yeah.
It could be me.
Yes.
You know, and making sure that I remain in that place always.
Yes. So I think for me, it's always reminding myself is I own nothing. Yeah. It all belongs to God. I don't own nothing. Kind of piggyback on what you said. You can't take it with you. Well, even when I'm living on this earth, I understand that I don't own nothing. God is gracious enough that He only wants 10% back, and He lets me enjoy the 90. Right. So in that 90, then it kind of tells on what you were saying. I need to find purpose in that.
Correct.
I need to find, like, what do I need to do with that 90? And that 90 can be, it's not just financial.
Right.
You know, it's everything that He. So we live in a world where people do it how they want to do it. Yeah. Right. If it ain't how they want to do it, then they don't want to be a part of it. So then, for our younger people who love the flashiness of it all, right?
Doing it for the book.
Doing it for the gram, right? They tell all, show all, be all for the gram. Then, what advice would you give if that was your nephew, your cousin, you know, grandkid? What would you say?
I think for me, not having every eye on me, knowing every moment or every second of what I'm doing is precious. Like having the solitude and having, you know, just my day-to-day to myself is just precious. Keeping that just to me, I so love that. Like I that's my happy place. And most people would probably think that I am like, because I'm very outgoing. I'm a introvert, extrovert. I'm like on the borderline. I know how to do both. But my happy place is with my family and, you know, spending time with my daughter and doing things with her and teaching her things and doing things with my mom and having conversations with my mom and my sister and learning things from my sister because she has such wisdom to give me, and I'm the oldest, but I learned from her.
Right.
Just those times and those things where we come together and we just spend the time, it's valuable because everybody's in a rat race. Everybody's doing something.
Right.
It's moving. Life is lifing, as we say.
Yeah.
But to find that moment to steal away and just be you and gain all that you can in the moment and being present in the moment is so important. Not showing everything. Not showing everything. I have a real problem with that. I'm working on it. Yeah, leave something for the people to even kind of like think to imagination. But yeah, I don't show it all. Just take some in and just keep it to yourself.
So be grateful for being able to protect your space.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't get caught up in the hoopla.
Yeah.
Because it is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's glitz and glamour. It's a lie. So being able to protect what's yours, what's sacred, what's wholesome to you. I love it. What would you say?
I think what I tell my granddaughter and the grandson, y'all talking about y'all living your best life. Y'all don't even know what life is yet.
Yeah.
You know, you going here. You always feel like you got to be on the go. Well, we bored. Like your great grandma used to say, when you tell me you're bored, that means you're too into yourself. It's about self. Oh. I tell them, you need to come back to church and serve.
Yeah.
Give some time to the church. You know, you can't do what everybody else is doing, because what everybody else is doing is a lie.
Yeah.
See, they're showing you what you're trying to show them. Both of y'all lying to each other. You know, stop trying to do what you think everybody else is doing and just do you. And if you don't know who you is, sit down and try to figure out who you is.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like my granddaughter is finding out, the ones that she thought were her friends are not her friends.
Yeah.
You know, and so just be intentional about what it is you really want to do in life. You know, what is it that really brings you joy? You know, what is it that you don't enjoy doing? I mean, like you said, we're lifing, and so a lot of us are at our older age, middle age,
right,
are finding out what it is we really like to do, what it is we don't like to do. But I think young people today, when I look at my young people, they don't have a heart to listen.
To be able to glean from the
don't.
knowledge that is right there sitting in their face.
Right.
Yeah. So,
like your grandmother.
Yeah.
I'm quite sure there's wisdom that has come from her. Mm-hmm. Your dad, there was wisdom. Because you were willing to sit and listen, they ain't doing that now. Ain't nobody doing that now, Grandma. You just don't understand, bro. Okay.
Right. There's nothing new. That what they're doing is not anything that we've not done. It may be even done it better.
Right.
Because contrary to belief, I really enjoyed my 20s and 30s. Okay, but get what you heard, right? I love Jesus, right? And my Jesus walk has been amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna sit up here and act like
Absolutely.
my 20s and 30s were not.
You weren't living your best life.
I was living my best life. So I would definitely agree. Staying in gratitude would be, hey, glean from those around you. They have so much they can pour into you. That the road won't be as tough. Yeah. Right? Because been there and done that. We've trailblazed that path. And so now we can pour it back into the individuals. Yeah. So then one word on how to stay grateful.
One word. Be you. Be you.
Be you.
No, that was 2 words.
Be intentional. And I'm going to say pray. All right. Good conversation, y'all. Good conversation. So that concludes us for today. Please join us next Sunday as we have a new episode. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like and share and hit that notification so that you can be notified as soon as the new episode is released. Don't forget to follow us at Kingdom Women Talk on Facebook and Instagram. Again, we are Kingdom Women Talk. I'm Yolanda.
I'm Sheila.
I'm Angela.
And we will see you next week.